the idea is this, it's kind of this spiritual, life coachy, yoga-y, one of those kind of quotes you might have on your wall that says, you know, you are all you need. You have everything you need. And I always like for things to make sense. Like, why? What? So there's probably this intuitive kind of feeling at times where you're like, yeah, I have all I need, but why? Like, what's happening that tunes you to that expansive feeling? One, you have all you need. One way that I started kind of thinking about it was if I would be sitting in the morning, maybe it's like on a break and people are all going on vacation, and I would think, oh, I would like to be going somewhere. And then I think, okay, well, where would I want to go? And I take myself to that place, and then I think, okay, well, what would I do? And when I like chiseled away at it, I would want to have a quiet morning and sip coffee till, you know, kind of exhaust the coffee sip time. I would love to have like quiet and space, where the time feels like it's extended. I would want to go on a long walk and be surrounded by, you know, beautiful things, or be able to be present with the beautiful things I was surrounded by, and probably like eat good food and stuff like that. And what this process would get me to was that I have everything where I am. And that doesn't take away going and exploring and visiting new places, but when you chip away at the essence of what your desire is, it's often right there. And here was what actually got me started thinking about this. I went to one of my home away from homes down the block, Studio Urban Wax, and as I was talking to Chloe was commenting on her little South Broadway bubble, which is our area where we live, and just commenting on, she lives by a grocery store, I live by a grocery store, we both go to the same Orange Theory, and then she works at Studio Urban Wax. That's like a block that way. I know I've said this before about how like everything's within a block and a half, and I wonder about that over this last year of these circumstances, because I don't think it wasn't just the conversation in Chloe. I think I've heard other people say, you know, talk about their bubble, or talk about how, you know, that they found kind of meaning they needed in a really close space. And that doesn't go against big travels and adventures and stuff like that, but just this curiosity about what we need. And what that brings me to is this little nugget that is not necessarily, I don't know if it's true, and it's like a feel-good thing. And I do say it to kids, and I tell them that I don't know if it's true, but that it feels good. But so I'll sit in a group of kids, and kids will automatically cross their legs and put their hands on their knees and do like this, and some of them will start going, And when I was into the Kung Fu Panda theme, there was Meditating Monkey, I would do that. And I don't know if that's where they got it from, but I'm sure there's other cartoon characters as well. But what I learned about this, I find it quite soothing when I will push my finger against my thumb, my first finger, and there's something like soothing and settling and focusing about it. And I do it when I walk too. But what I heard, not knowing if it's true or not, but when you think of like a womb, that a womb has everything you need. A womb has everything you need to survive. And so you could call it the mother's womb, and there's this special connection with mothers and their children, but there's also children that were born into the world and never had that connection to that mother, or things were just different with that mother. And in my work and experience, you start to kind of focus or be curious about kids that have different circumstances, and you start to really be drawn towards just the power of a human, regardless of their circumstances, situations, events. So just thinking of a womb that you grew in, it had everything you needed. And supposedly as we grew in this womb, that was nurturing, nourishing, the sound of the womb, the warmth of the womb, the everything to grow and develop, and that we grew with our thumb and our finger together like that in the womb, so that there's a comfort in this little thumb first finger situation. I like that story, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is true. I just want to clarify that I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard it and I liked it. And I like the idea of the womb and having everything you need, and then just building off of that. And it really just goes to this, like, just flipping things, that living from the inside space and receiving and being in that value and knowing that's within, in that invisible space, and then accessing the visible from that, like, non-physical state of feeling connected to something more. So,